welcome to Young, Clever, and Wealthy. And today we have the pleasure of having Hernan Vazquez here. Hernan has been able to consult with several 6 and 8 figure businesses and launched seven figure businesses with the help of advertising online. Hello, and welcome, Hernan. How are you doing?
Thank you, buddy. It's great being here. I'm really excited for this interview. We have been putting it off, but we finally get to meet and to talk with each other, and it's really cool. It's really cool to be here.
Yeah. Me too. I've just quick background information. I've been following Hernan for quite some time, and all the information. He's been providing a lot of value over time, and I finally said, okay, he has to be on the podcast. Let's get him in. He has, I'm sure, lots of things that he can share that can benefit all of us. So Hernan, please tell us a bit of introduce yourself a bit more and tell us what you do.
Sure. Yeah, I guess you could call it that I'm a digital marketing consultant and trainer. I've been working in the digital marketing sphere for the past 8, 9 years.
Wow.
And yeah, I've launched my own companies. I have my own consulting firm where we consult with companies, across the globe. We focus on digital advertising. For the most part, we do Facebook ads and AdWords. That's like our forte. Facebook ads being, our main element, if you would. And we also do a lot of sales funnels and, conversion optimization and whatnot. And that's basically and I started doing SEO back in the day. I started doing, it was funny because I started doing writing articles for $4 or $5 in Fiverr.
Yeah, I saw that
back in the day. That was just to bring food on the table. And then I started like really soaking in and consuming anything that has to do with SEO. And I would start doing some out of Fiverr. I would start getting some people wanting to hire me to do their content and to do their SEO and whatnot. So I started doing that, and then I dwell into WordPress and themes and whatnot. You start learning this stuff, and off you go. And then so that's basically, and that one thing led to the other. I met these guys where we would form a company called Semantic Mastery. And Semantic Mastery is a company that basically it's focused on bringing tools and teaching local digital marketing agencies, mostly in the U.S., and showing them how to get better results for clients. So that has been my first 7-figure business. And then, thanks to that and thanks to doing some personal branding, I've been able to work with, the biggest names in the industry, I would say, right now. And consulting with 8 and 9-figure companies in terms of, how to increase their ad spend, how to scale their Facebook ads campaign effectively, how to, get more leads, get more clients, increase their revenue. That's basically my gig at this point.
Okay, awesome. So as you read through your story, in the beginning you can see that at first you had a good job, right? And then you decided to jump into entrepreneurship, into online business, etc.
Right.
Tell us, like, how was it, and what would you recommend to people wanting to do the jump, to make the jump? What tips would you have for them?
Right. Yeah, great question. Yeah, I had a really comfortable job, back in the day. This was 10 years ago or something. And I had a really comfortable job in a big company here in Argentina. I'm originally from here. I go back and forth between Argentina and the US, a lot, because my companies and my partners and my clients are there. So I go back and forth a lot, but I'm originally born and raised here in Buenos Aires. That's where I'm at right now. And but the reality is that I had a really good job. And but at some point I made some math and say, okay, so if I spend 10 years, I was young at the point. I was younger, 10 years younger at that point. And I said, all right, so if I spend 10 years on this job, I could aim to, let's say, a managing position, whatever, and would be doing this career, this corporate ladder type of stuff, and that would be all good. But what would happen if I dedicate 10 years of my life to growing my own business, doing stuff that I love, learning a lot, and trying to launch, whatever I was set up to do at that point. And that's basically when I realized, okay, so 10 years can be really multiplied a lot when you have your own business, and then if you dedicate 10 years to your to corporate career, then maybe you will land in a good position, but you will always be an employee. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. Let me be completely straight.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with having a comfortable 9 to 5 job at all. Like, I totally respect that. I felt that back in the day wasn't for me, so I decided to just quit, jump out without a net, without any idea what I was supposed to do. And it was funny because I was doing recruitment, sorry, and HR for that company, right? I would make interviews and whatnot. And then, following that entrepreneurial spirit, I went out and I started providing the exact same service that I was doing inside of the company for salary outside of the company, and earning 10 times more for the same company. And then it was kind of funny because I was in discussions with the manager, the HR manager back in the day, saying, dude, you were working for me, you were making 10 times less money. Why on earth, we decided to let you go? Or you decided to quit? Well, it's self-evident. So I started off the bat there. But then the reality is that after I did that, I decided that HR wasn't for me. I just wasn't ready to go that route. So I started from scratch pretty much. And then it took me, like, I would say a solid 2 to 3 years, to figure it out, to keep on grinding, and to actually start making money. So it's not like without I remember that I was living with my girlfriend at that point in time, and she was the one with a salary, didn't have any income. And so I was trying to grind it out, and that's where I found Fiverr, and I was like, okay, I would do anything for $5 pretty much. But yeah, that's basically. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, right? It all depends on your specific point in life. Like, I didn't have kids. I was single. I had a girlfriend at the time, but I didn't have kids.
Yeah.
I didn't have a family. My family was really supportive. So the reality is that it all comes down to where's your status in life. Like, I tell a lot of people that just want to, they might have a family and they want to, get out of a job. Okay, so secure. What you need to do is work twice as hard to put together a business that could replace your income that you have on your your current 9 to 5. So that's basically where I'm at. And what I always tell people, like, don't jump out unless you have the bandwidth and you have the time to do it, if that makes sense. So
totally. That's such a good answer, right? Work twice as hard to make it happen. And then, like, one thing that really hit me when I was reading your story was that you weren't happy with that situation, right? You weren't happy, you weren't filled somehow, and like it's such a like how can I express myself? Like, when you how do you know if it's the right path or not, right? Like, what's the right path? Like, okay, I'm gonna do this scary stuff, but what's the, like, and I think, like, the answer for you, and probably for me too, on everything is, like, just go and figure it out, and it will happen. Like, whatever has to happen will happen, right? And
100%. Yeah, 100%.
And okay, so let's move that and let's go into the digital agency and everything. So you help companies and to, like, grow their businesses basically in a very ranges from different things, SEO, Facebook, whatever, right? So
yes,
let's start with that. What would you say is the, like, top 3 or tips, or, like, what are the mistakes usually businesses make when they want to get results online? Okay, what would you say?
Right, that's actually a great question. So here's the thing: I personally started offering a bunch of different things, like, 100%. Like, I started doing web design, and then I would do SEO, and then we would do social media managing. So we would, like, one-stop shop. The reality is that we decided to focus down mostly on paid media. If you come and ask me for web design, I wouldn't personally do it. I have my web developer, web designer that will do it for you. So if you come and ask me for SEO, we have somebody in the team that does SEO. But the reality is that was like a niching down type of perspective initially. And I think that one of the main things that people, when they go out there and try to sell their stuff online, is to, first off, they think that just because it's online, it's going to be easier than sell it offline. You know what I'm saying? That's the first thing that people will come and say, well, yeah, it should be easier. It will be easier. Like
Yeah.
I've been doing this. I've been doing this offline for quite a while now. If I pour into the online business or the online world, it would be easy. And the reality is that it's not, or it's just an additional channel that you're opening. That's another thing that I see a lot of people making the mistake of saying, well, I've been doing this. Let's say that you are going out there and you're advertising on your local newspaper. All right, so I'm advertising on a local newspaper. Now I'm going to cut it off, and then I'm going to start doing Facebook and Instagram ads. And I always tell them, listen, the channels, the advertising channels or the marketing channels that you've got, they compound on each other, right? Because if you have an if you're out there, you have a billboard or you're advertising on radio, whatever, and people will visit your website, then you can retarget them on Facebook, or remarket them on Google so that they will keep on seeing your advertising over and over again. So it's not, that's the third mistake I would say, that people tend to think in terms of either or. I need to be doing either SEO or either paid advertising, or I need to be doing Instagram or Facebook. It's not that. It's like, how do you go out there to a marketplace that's full of noise and you make a dent and you step out of, you kind of make a brand for yourself so that you cut through the noise and get people to know your brand. Basically, like what we do in my agency and when I consult with people, is like we tell them, or we help them building a brand that makes a lot of money, that sells a lot of stuff, and also people are really, really engaged so that they will buy from that brand over and over and over again. So that's basically the main point. And I think that those are the three main mistakes. Like online might have been easier at some point. It's not easy right now. There's a lot of competition out there, so you need to account that for.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
One thing that you said that was very interesting was that at the beginning you were doing everything. You were doing website, social media, and then you narrowed down to paid media, right?
Correct.
Would you recommend that to, for example, I also, like, it's crazy that a lot of things are very similar between you and me. I also started, first ways of making money was through Fiverr online, and here as well, like started doing websites and stuff, development and stuff. And like, would you recommend for a person to go all in on a vertical? Let's say you niche down on paid media. Would you recommend someone specializing only on one of those fields and going all in, or what would you recommend, for example, for success?
Yeah, great question. So yeah, that's a question that I get a lot. For instance, when people come and tell me, okay, so who should I offer my services to, right? And I always tell them to niche down. Like, let's say that you have that you have an SEO agency, right? Or a digital marketing agency, or a local business agency, and you want to go out there, you want to grab clients. The reality is that there are two things that you need to understand. Number one is that you're developing a skill set that will allow you to bring clients, bring leads, and bring revenue to pretty much any business out there. So that is a super, super high value skill set that you could have at this day and age, because you're basically generating sales and revenue for clients, so that's number one. Then the other thing is that, however, here's the thing, whenever you niche down, let's say that you're going to start running Facebook ads for dentists, okay? So you're going to be niching down on it. So I always tell them, okay, so niche down, or try to pick a niche that is high ticket, meaning that people will have a high, like that the client is worth a lot of money to the business, right? So it can be like, dentist is like the go-to example that I always use, but it could be like pole installation or landscaping, whatever that is, right? Like there's high revenue in each of those customers. And once you start niching down, the reality is that you'll start speaking their language, because dentists do not speak the same as restaurant owners do, as chiropractors do. So they have different languages. So you will start knowing and learning their language, number one. Number two, you will develop assets. Because if you think about it, there's a high chance that if a landing page worked for dentists in area A, it will also work for dentists in area B. So you can reuse those assets over and over again. And then when it comes to developing a skill set, like I used to do it all I walk away from SEO because I found people that do it like 10 times better than I do it. I don't like it that much. You know, I used to do it, but I don't like it that much at this point. I really like Facebook ads. So there's two things. Number one is what you're good at, and you need to double down on what you're good at, right? Because maybe you're a great copywriter, but you're a lousy video editor, right? So don't edit videos. Like, get somebody on your team or outsource to somebody that can edit videos. So you can double down on the stuff that you're good at and outsource the rest. Like, again, if you come to us, there will be somebody that could do SEO for you. It's not going to be me, but you can get somebody on the team doing it.
Yes.
So the main point is that if you think about it, the real money is made, or those that make the real money are the best of the best of what they do in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there's a huge difference, like incremental difference, an order of magnitude of difference between the best football player in the world, right? The best soccer player in the world versus the second best. There's a huge difference, right?
Messi, like and what's the second one?
No. I would say Messi, and I don't know who's the second one. I'll leave that to you. But
okay.
You know, the best basketball player in the world versus the second best. You know, there's an order of magnitude of difference. The best Facebook ads media buyer in the world versus the second best. So if you're gonna do something, you need to become the best. Maybe if not in the world, you need to become the best in your country. You need to become the best in your area, because that's the only way that people will come to you, and they will find you, and they will hunt you down, and then you can charge whatever you want. So at that point, I would say yes. You know, double down on your strengths, double down on what you want to do and what you like doing, and then outsource the rest. And that happens for both skill sets and niches as well. So.
Perfect. That was such a good answer. Hernan, I think as I've been observing the digital sphere, and I've been seeing people successful, what I've been noticing is that people who control or are masters at advertising, at the end of the day, like, win everything, like win every niche, right? You could be on e-commerce, and if you're good at advertising, you win on e-commerce, you win at digital marketing, you win at all the different variables. So I kind of also want you to give me like your opinion. Maybe this is not this is an opinion for me, but like in my mind, maybe it's not true, but isn't like doing Facebook ads and learning them and becoming a master advertiser like the number one thing you need to learn today?
Well, yeah, that's actually a good question. I really don't know. I do it because I like it a lot, and I do see what you're seeing in terms of, because here's what you can do with advertising, which is different than, and media buying specifically, which is different than any other type of traffic generation strategy, right? Like, I don't know, like you can post all day on Instagram and trying to become an influencer. You can try and do SEO, but those are all channels that you can hardly control, right? The fastest way to grow wealth or to grow a profit for a company is to learn how to turn advertising into profit. And that's a phrase by Frank Kern, which is, you know, one of my mentors and one of the people that I look up to a lot. So it's the fastest way to generate wealth, and it's the fastest way to grow a business. Now, that is only half the battle. Like, knowing what kind of message to put in front of what kind of people is only half the battle. The rest of the battle is fought at the funnel level, right? And the funnel level meaning, you know, your landing pages, your offer, what you're offering, what your products, you know, your discounts, your follow-up sequences, all of that's good stuff.
Yeah.
So that is something that you want to have in mind in terms of advertising. Advertising is like a really valuable skill to have right now, because again, you become somebody that can, you know, make it rain for a company, and you become really sought after.
Yeah.
So for instance, you know, I'm working with you know, an e-commerce store. They sell hydroponic type stuff, which is, you know, a niche that I really like. And you know, I've been helping them for the past, I would say, 6 months. And they started at zero. They started with a really good product, and now we are at $150,000 in sales every month, right?
Wow.
We're spending around, I would say, $3,000 to $5,000 or rather $3,000 per day on Facebook, and then $2,000 or something per day on AdWords, right? And they went from 0 to 150,000. So if you think about it, the ROI on that case might be maybe 100% or maybe 80%, right? Discounting the cost of production, discounting the advertising costs, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have let's say that you have a 60% ROI, which is return on the investment or return on the advertising, month in and month out, right? That is your ROI. If you think about it, you're generating 60% return on the investment every month, and that is like a no-brainer. And you can expand that, meaning like you can scale that for a company. That means that your job becomes really valuable, because the big money masters in this game, like, I don't know, Warren Buffett has like a 20% annual return. And you're talking about a 60% monthly, you know? So it's massive. Granted, they're doing it with billions. We're making it with hundreds of thousands of dollars. So the more you spend on ads, and the more you spend, rather, the more it shrinks the ROI. So it's normal. But that is something that you can do, because we're talking about front-end sales. Like these guys don't even have a back-end follow-up sequence. They don't even have an email follow-up sequence. They just have a really, really good product. Like, the product is awesome. They have a really good product, and they happen to, we happen to have, nail in the head with the media buying side of things, which is awesome, because that's going to be, I think that's going to be $1 billion company in a couple of years. But that's what I'm saying. So I think it can be a really valuable skill set to develop. And again, you don't need to do that at that level. So if you can turn $1 into $2 selling e-commerce stuff that you drop ship from, AliExpress, whatever, that's also worth it,
Okay, that was such a great answer, because like at the end of the day, the ability to turn $1 into $2 like moves everything goes ahead, and it's and the thing you said, like the scalability of Facebook, and like if you know how to do it right, it's just like pouring more money into or fire into gasoline, and that things like, it's not like traditional business where like it took like much more everything. Right now it's so concentrated. So let's say if someone wants to get started, wants to become an expert, I think and I want you to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like the main thing like that someone needs to learn here is kind of sales and all the principles, and then a bit about the platform, and then apply all the huge sales knowledge he has, and that would turn into a success. What do you think? Is that the formula that someone should follow in general lines?
Yeah, great question. So I think that you nailed it right there, because I think that if anyone wants to learn to be successful online or offline, you need to know how to sell. And one of the things that I love in terms of online sales is copywriting. So if there's one skill set that you need to learn right now, or that you want to develop, is copywriting. And copywriting is like basically the use of words to sell something, to sell a good or a service. Like, once you learn that, like the mechanics of the Facebook, like let's say the mechanic of the Facebook ads platform, or the mechanics of the Instagram ads platform, they're always changing. Like, Facebook is rolling out a new update every week at this point, right? And they will add more features, and they will add more stuff. So, that changes pretty much every week at this point. But what doesn't change is what makes people buy. That doesn't change, right? We mostly buy based on emotion, and we justify that with logic. So if you can learn how to tap into emotions, and one of the best things to do it, right, or the best ways that I know of, is through copywriting. You can be a mediocre media buyer, meaning you can do just okay with your media buyer, but if you have a good offer, if you learn and know how to craft a good offer that people want to buy, you could be shitty at your Facebook ads, and you can still have a really good result. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that I would recommend for somebody that wants to start and you want to get going, because the reality is that if you're using online marketing, you cannot talk to everyone. You need to have some sort of sales mechanism, meaning a sales letter or a video sales letter or a webinar, whatever that is, and it all comes around copywriting, if you think about it. So there's a couple of resources regarding learning copywriting.
I was gonna just ask you
Yeah,
that.
go ahead. Sorry.
Number one resource, Perpetual Profits, the three-step formula for quickly expanding businesses. It's an ebook book by Hernan. Definitely, I'm on the lookout to read it soon. Apart from that, classics of sales or copywriting, what would you recommend? What books do you recommend?
Well, first off is Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. It's a $400 book. It's worth every penny and more.
Oh,
And
wow.
that is like the number one. Yeah, the next one that I would recommend is David Ogilvy on advertising. That is also a great book. I'm reading right now How to Write a Good Advertising by, I think it's Schwartz. That is also really, really good. So for instance, if you go to Gary Halbert, if you search online for the Gary Halbert letters, anything by Gary Halbert is really, really good.
Okay.
And also he has like a 90-day, I think it's like a 30 or 60-day challenge. So if you search for Gary Halbert challenge, it will give you like a list of sales letters to write. Like you need to manually transcribe them. I have them somewhere around here. So that is something that you need to do. And then he would recommend like 5 different books. Read them all. They're awesome. But if I had to pick and choose one, there's also like more contemporary. You can read Dan Kennedy. Dan Kennedy is great when it comes to advertising and copywriting. And also like Frank Kern is awesome as well. I think that this is the top copywriter or one of the best copywriters in the world at this point. So anything by Frank, go ahead and swipe it and try to analyze it. But yeah, if I had to pick one, make the investment on Breakthrough Advertising because it's worth it. It's really, really worth it.
Okay, I didn't hear about it. Like, you say it's $400 on one book.
$400. Let me actually get it.
Yeah,
I have it somewhere around.
Please.
Right here. This is the one. Right here.
Wow.
Breakthrough Advertising. It's awesome. It's a small book, but it's really, really valuable. So I would recommend it.
Totally. Okay, awesome. So I went like that. We went into the specifics, which was very good, great answers. Now I want to move back again into you. Okay, and I would like to ask you, like, what was one failure you had or apparent failure that eventually like set you up for success down in life?
Yeah, great question. So I had I don't know. I have like a bunch of failed businesses, like a lot. I would say that I have a lot more failed businesses than successful ones. But one in particular, I was working with a client. So a client that came recommended, and I decided to, he was like, here's the thing, I quote him really high, and he said yes to the quote, and it was this, cumbersome type of development that I would say that I wouldn't do anymore. Like it was Infusionsoft with, paired with a bunch of different automations. So it was a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So I hired somebody, right? Because I needed help because I didn't know, half of the stuff that the guy was asking. But I say, all right. So I have this philosophy of say yes, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
But so I did that, and then the reality is that the client at that point, took, I think it was like 3 or 4 months to give us all of the stuff that we needed for the project.
Wow, that's a lot.
Like we were like 75% there, and the guy took like 3 months to give us what we needed to complete that 25% left. And the reality is that he came back apparently, and I took him. Here's the thing. Let me give you some background. I took him because he came from a really reputable source in terms of referral, right? He came recommended by a really high level referral. So I said, all right, yeah, I didn't make him apply, I didn't talk to him. I just said, yeah, all right, yeah, you come from this guy, that's fine. Just trust the guy, just trust the source, let's do it. 4 months later, the guy's back saying that we missed the deadline by 4 months because that, he didn't send us the stuff. He was super unhappy. He was, threatening to go back to the source and, talk a bunch of nonsense and whatnot. So I had to refund the guy for every penny.
Wow.
Of the project. It was a 5-figure project, so I had to refund him every
Wow.
penny, and then I had to pay my team for those 4 months worth of development, and it was a pain in the ass. I was really, really, really angry at the point, but something that I learned was to, number one, money doesn't really matter if you're not enjoying what you're doing. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two is that have an application process in place, which I do from now on. From that point onwards, I always make clients apply. And then number three is that you need to come from this abundance mentality from anything that you're doing. What I mean is that I took in that guy even when my gut feeling was telling me, don't do it, this guy's gonna be a pain in the ass, don't do it, don't do it. But I took him anyways, because I thought that I wouldn't be able to grab another client like him. You know what I'm saying? So I came from this, and this is something that I had to relearn over and over again, based on money, based on money versus the gut feeling versus this scarcity mentality that you think that you're not going to be able to get new clients.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point onwards, I decided I would apply, I would make everyone apply. It doesn't really matter what source who came.
Yeah.
I would be much prone to say no, which is something that I fight with, right? We are entrepreneurs. We tend to say yes to a lot of stuff because we see opportunity in a lot of stuff. But I would decide I would say no a lot more. And the reality is that set me up for success, because, a couple months later, I'm working with much better clients, that they are like 10% of a pain in the ass that these guys was and whatnot. So.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Also, like in that situation, having the scarcity mindset of, okay, I'm gonna pick this while I have it right, as opposed to, okay, calm down, everything will come, okay, like that abundance mentality that's so powerful happened to me as well, totally. That's my main takeaway out of that. And also, I'm sure that in the applying process, you right away you ask them about all the information there, right? So they cannot escape or later input the information later, right? Before starting,
Yes.
or just as you start, put everything in and let me work. So I don't have to call you every time. Hey, give me, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. And that is also that I've learned in terms of leading with the price, because here's the thing. There's two things that I want to make a point on, is that you will never be afraid of a client telling you no if you have a pipeline full of leads. Meaning, if you have a pipeline full of potential clients, if this guy says no, that's fine, and you will never be afraid of quoting and charging the guy what you want to charge and what you think you're worth, because you have a lot of people on the line, right? If you have like a couple of leads, that becomes much harder. But with that being said, right now I used to do, hey, let's jump on a call. I'll send you, let's talk about it. I'll send you a proposal. Then we'll jump on another call to discuss the proposal. Then we'll jump on another call so that you can rebuttal my proposal and then you can try to manage. I don't do that anymore. I should just tell them, hey, how much you charge? I have been lucky enough and blessed enough, to build a platform, meaning, I put out content a lot.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of inquiries pretty much every week of people wanting to work with me. And I tell them, hey, listen, this is what I work with. This is what I charge. If you're ready to move forward, we can hop on a call, If not, that's fine. No hard feelings, but this is let's save us, time, because if you're not there yet, that's fine. That's completely fine, but I cannot help you. I cannot add value to your operation. So I've learned that I just lead with value. I just tell them, hey, this is what I charge. If you're good with that, then let's hop on a call, So that decreases 98% of the calls that I get every week. But the 2% that remains are really high qualified leads. They're really high qualified people that I want to talk to. So.
Awesome. Hernan, is there a habit or a new behavior or something in you that has something new that has has been very impactful on your life in the last 5 years that has made you like great?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so there's a couple of habits that I've taken from my partners at Semantic Mastery. One of them is this, which is journaling every day. I use the Best Self Journal. So this is a journal and a planner. So, I plan my day the day before. So yesterday, before I go to bed, I plan my day, what I'm about to do today, so that I know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the one thing that, has helped me a lot, because these little journals are pretty cool, because they will allow you to have like 3 months sprints instead of like planning out the entire year, which for me it's impossible, to say I have long-term plans, but
Yeah.
this like so I would very much rather have like 90-day sprints, and this is basically what I do with the little journal right here, which is one of the things that I do, and I try to work out regularly, like pretty regularly. I would say every day if I can, because the reality is that when you need to deliver and behave at such a level, right?
Yeah.
You need to be like really out there in terms of, hey, you need to be really up for the live streams that I do every day, and to be answering calls and whatnot, and talking to clients.
Yeah.
And I think that the energy that comes from working out is something that you cannot like fake. You can drink coffee all day, but you will. I actually feel better the day after, right?
I agree.
And
I agree.
I can tell, well, I didn't work out yesterday. That's why I feel like shit today. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that has helped me a lot in conjunction with journaling as well. So.
Okay, so you said training and journaling. And in terms of journaling, I wanted to dive in. Do you do like this? You talk about being grateful, or do you have a grateful line or something, or how do you go about that?
Yeah, that's actually a great point. So this journal right here, which I'm not affiliated with, by the way, I just use it a lot. It's called the Best Self Journal. Okay?
Yeah, I have a regular one. I just type everything.
Right. So what you do is basically you plan your day, right?
Yeah.
So you plan your day, and you can download the PDF of this if you want, So you go to bestself.co, I think, and you can download the PDF. So the PDF, which is how it looks. So you have the day, you plan out the day, and then you have 3 things to be grateful for in the morning, right?
Okay.
And then you write down your goal every day. That is something that helps a lot, out of Grant Cardone. I've learned to write
your
down
big
my
goal. You're
day.
you're not talking about your daily goal, but your big goal, right? Okay.
Yes, exactly. And then you have the targets for the day, right? Those are your daily goals. Okay, so if I do this, and this, then this day is going to be a win. So you're always winning. And then at the end of the day, you reflect on the day, which was your biggest win for the day, and then you have 3 things that you're grateful for. So you're pretty much doing everything in one fell swoop. And I've been doing this for, I would say, a year and a half or so, and it's pretty good, man. Like I really like how this is structured. So.
Okay, yeah, totally. Like journaling and being writing everything down. It's a way to check yourself if like it's someone evaluating yourself, seeing like, hey, am I doing right, am I doing wrong, what's happening, right?
Correct.
Another question, and we're gonna wrap up probably two more questions, okay? But what is like last question about strategy? We're going to move to tactics, okay? So say someone has a business and he's very inspired. He has read the actual books and he has everything in his mind, but he wants to execute. Which platform do you see trending that he can use to separate himself and use like take advantage? Because Facebook ads, the cost is going up, and I don't know what. I'm curious to know your answer.
Yeah, definitely, and yeah, Facebook ads are definitely, the costs are definitely going up, and like we used to get like, I don't know, 1 cent clicks and less than a cent per video view, for instance, and
wow.
those days are gone. But the reality is that Facebook ads are still like really, really strong, and I see that there are two main, like YouTube ads are working really, really well right now as well, which is something that I'm trying to learn and master too. But when it comes to Facebook ads, there's this specific strategy that I've been using it for the past, I would say 6 months, which works really well, and it helps you coping with the increasing in costing Facebook ads, but also it allows you to get better leads and get higher revenue from Facebook ads, which is basically put out content, put out really valuable content on Facebook, right? It can be videos or blog posts. Like I literally write blog posts on Facebook. So put out content, put out really valuable content. It can be videos, it can be and blog posts, and then you push those through. It can be engagement campaigns or it can be video views campaigns for videos.
Okay.
And the good news about that is that you can retarget those people that have engaged with your video. They have seen like 25% or 50% of a video, or they have engaged with your content, whatnot. You can retarget them for your offers. So that is exactly what one of the things that I share on Perpetual Profits how to do. But the main point of this is that you go out there with really, really valuable content. I'm a huge believer that you need to also teach on your advertising. So you need to be taking any kind of advantage and any kind of potential opportunity for you to create goodwill in the audience. And one of the best way to do that is to teach in your advertising. That's why like instructional videos work really well. Instructional blog posts work really well. I have these huge, like long 2,700 words type of ads running on Facebook right now that they work really well because they're really helpful. Like they're really valuable. So I'm just giving a tip, and then I'm just segueing into a call to action, which could be, I don't know, join my webinar, download the book, or whatever that is. So that is something that pretty much anyone can do, because if you have a business, you're serving to an audience, and that audience might have, or it's sure to have, some specific problems and fears and those type of stuff that you can address on your advertising by teaching, and then you can retarget those folks. Now, when you retarget them, most of them will say, oh, this guy that I read about, which is pretty cool, I'm gonna see what he's all about. You know what I'm saying? So that works really well. That allows you to increase the value of your leads, increase the value of a customer, increase the order value for each of your customers, and also cut through the noise. So that's something that we've been doing over and over again on different niches and different verticals, and it works really well.
Oh, okay, awesome. Retargeting, like I think I'm being retargeted on one of your ads, so that's funny and
probably.
And interesting.
If you engage, if you like to post, or if you look at a post for more than 3 seconds, I'm gonna retarget you. I'm just kidding, but yeah.
That's great. That should be the goal of everyone like listening. Or me too. Like that should be the level of aggressiveness, if you want to call it like that, in your ads, and I love it. I love it. I want to be in that position. Hernan, last question. Okay, what advice would you give your younger self to reach your destination, or reach whatever you are now in this successful situation sooner?
Yeah, great question. I would say don't be afraid to invest in your personal brand. It took me a long time. To realize that personal branding was a big deal. It took me a long time to realize that when you have a personal brand, you can actually, grow any type of business. And once I started doing it, like outside of a brand, outside of a logo, if you would, and showing myself more, I got amazing results. So I would say don't be afraid to invest in your personal brand sooner, because personal branding, even more if you're putting out good content, good quality content, you're being helpful, compounds at a amazing rate. Let me tell you a quick story, brief story. Last year, this year I'm going to Funnel Hacking Live in next month, but last year, I decided to go too with my partner Adam, and I was running ads for, let's say, a couple months before going to Funnel Hacking Live, right? With no intention whatsoever. It's just testing, because I test a bunch of stuff. So when I got there, it was kind of weird. It was kind of spooky, because people were saying, "Oh yeah, I've seen your ads," and people were trying to take pictures with me, which was kind of weird at the point, right? Because I didn't have a big presence online. So I've been running ads for the past 6 months, I'm looking forward to see what the effect is going to be on this funnel hacking live, which
Yeah.
is like 4,000 people, you know, around funnels and
Wow.
and advertising and whatnot. So yeah, I mean, that compounds a lot. So don't be afraid to invest in your personal brand, because, you know, like, you can grow pretty much any business when you have a strong following. So
Awesome advice. I think we we sometimes struggle because we have our own insecurities. When you put yourself out there, you have like, even like the person who's holding you back the most is usually you in this situation of, what are like, okay, I don't look good in this picture. I don't do this well, right? And it's totally happened to me as well. And I think like from my point of view, I also wanted to contribute to what you're saying is, everything is great, like everything is good, only good things come from putting yourself out there and like providing value to people. And just a great advice from Hernan. Hernan, thank you so much. How can people find you? Where can they find you online?
Well, if you go to my website, hernanvazquez.com, you can find me there. You can search for, we have a free Facebook group, which is called Digital Marketing Strategies for Entrepreneurs, or you can just go to hernanvazquez.com/Facebook.
Okay.
It's free to join. hernanvazquez.com/YouTube as well for my YouTube channel. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Awesome. I'll link everything up in the description.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Hernan, and talk to you soon.